So here is Luxe. He is my 2021 South Carolina Tip Challenge Mustang. And this is day 4 of our training. You see I have a Buckeye Apple Snaps cookie. See if he would like that. He's just been introduced to his grow and win, so sometimes it can take them a minute to get introduced to cookies and understanding what those are. But I thought it's always worth a try. Escher took up to it pretty quickly. But every horse is different. So in this session, we stayed in the small pen, just working on the slow work again. And he's even better than he was the day before. So every day he kind of inches forward. I'm working on getting the clip on the halter. Still a little bit of a delicate process. You see he still likes to place me right in the center, which is a little bit of a danger spot. I like to be on the 45-degree angle because then you can be out of the way, but this is where he wants me to be for the moment. And again, I normally have my vest, but it is in my trailer, which is in the shop. So you guys will see when my trailer comes back, I will be wearing my vest. And you'll see oftentimes I'm yawning and taking deep breaths. That's because I'll feel the tension building up a little bit. It's always interesting to me that sometimes I feel when I'm yawning a lot, it's processing a lot of that emotion that they're feeling too. So again, working on touching his face. Just letting it sit there for a minute. Again, there's a lot of facial nerves that they can start to feel better when you do massages. So I can start to get him to want to like the touch of my hand. And we do a lot of approach and retreat, just like that. Now going in and wiggling with the halter, working on what I did, the day before. Practicing with the rope like I'd be putting on a new halter. He's trying to sort it out. I'm just going to work on staying very still. And I can, again, watch him in the video so I can see what's happening. Guess he didn't like the way it smelled. So it doesn't take much. I just swing my hips a little bit and you see he responds back. And that's again where I felt I needed to take a deep breath. And I'm talking to my student who's working with her Mustang in the bigger pen about how I'm feeling the energy in my tummy sometimes. And we just do a lot of this kind of touching and going back and forth. And I'm watching him in the video, just making sure, because he's a little tight and bowed up, but got a nice lick and chew there, so that was good. And you can see how far out that tongue comes. It's pretty cute. And starting to lower his head. Now, one thing you want to watch is if they really start to head bob. That is a warning sign, typically. Now, some horses don't charge on it, but I've had a couple where I've misread the head bob, and then I got told that wasn't the right thing. But he's doing very just slow kind of readings with his head. And he's still trying to sort out if I'm friend or foe. He's still not sure. But he's starting to look a bit softer in his eye. And again, I felt like I needed to take another breath and a yawn. I'm getting another nice lick and chew. And he responds really nicely to the pressure of the halter. And again, he's coming in for a sniff and touch. And I'm going to move a little bit out of the way. And then again, got a nice lick and chew. And then I'm going to back up a little bit. But it's fun to see that now he's not wanting to be so far in the back. He's wanting to investigate a little bit more. I'm getting some good processing. And again, I do a little bit of work and then I take my eyes off and just kind of be against the panel and help the student, and then go back to doing some other things. So again, working with the two hands on the side to start to prepare for tightening the halter, kind of bouncing on what I'd started yesterday. And again, he wants to come in. And sometimes they get a nibble because they want to see if they can move you. But again, he's doing pretty well. He's doing lots of processing. Keeping it pretty low key.
I told you, it goes out completely around the side.
That tongue is just hilarious.
I think he's trying
It
to
really comes all the way out. And I'm going to go back to the halter. And he likes me to come straight at him, so it's funny how different they are. Eton did not like me coming straight at him necessarily. He wanted you to come on that left side and touch his cheek first. So they kind of tell you what they feel comfortable with. And that's kind of where I try to start and then build from that. So that time, that was pretty good. He let me do two hands. I'm kind of sniffing everything out here. That was a good, brave boy.
Boy, that was a good boy. That wasn't so bad. Huh?
He's going to come back in for another sniff.
Good boy.
And then again, I just try to keep it very low energy and just playing around, moving the halter, and getting the bugs off his face. Then come in with the two hands. That was pretty good. And then I gave him another little break and then came back at it again. And that time he actually let me on that left side. So typically with the new Mustangs, because people always say, well, you should work the right as much as the left. But when you have ones that are really worried, and knowing how I have body control, is I'll tend to work the left until they start to understand the concepts, and then go back to the right. So he would let me on the right side a couple of times, the day before, but I'm just working on this, getting him used to me having two hands and going up on the side of the neck a little bit. And again, I really just want to snug up that halter, so then I can work on getting a halter on and off so he doesn't have to have the halter on. Here he's being a very good boy. He's getting a little nervous, but he's letting me tighten it. And that was really good. And it took him a little bit for that lick and chew. And again, I felt like I had to take another breath. And you see I kind of have my arms crossed, my shoulders a little rounded, my head's down. So I'm trying just to be just part of the panel, so he feels like I'm not a threat. I'm getting some nice soft rubs there. His eyes are really starting to soften up. And we're just working on a little bit of pressure off the halter. He does not want me kind of back next to him. I have to work by inches a little bit, but I was able to grab that end of the halter. And that time I was able to tighten it and snug it up a little bit more. And again, go back into rubbing his face. And you can see he gets just a little worried, but I'm able to do that pretty well. So now I'm going to go into prepping again for putting the halter on and off. It's a smidge worried, but nothing really too much. He's pretty comfortable with that. So I'm going to move into that corner of the pen. And there you see my hand was a little bit more floppy. It moved a little quicker and it worried him for a second. But now he's starting to let me on more of the left side where I can touch further down the neck, which is a big deal. I'm going to make sure that I keep my hand closed. I don't want it open. That having it open tends to worry them a bit more. And that was really good. I'll let him think about that for a second. And then go back to rubbing his face again. And I thought that was a really good place to end and just take the clip off. He was being a little silly. And so that was pretty good progress made for today. I was really happy with how he did.